This call is being recorded.
All right, all right. Hey, good morning. Hey, welcome to the. This is Coach 100K, helping you make six figures in this industry, guys. And I'm telling you something right now. If you never lived a six-figure life, you don't want to go to heaven yet. You want to make sure you at least get a chance to live the six-figure life. Now, when you live a six-figure life, guys, what happens is you get a chance to outpace inflation. So if a person's making, no harm to the numbers. I mean, I've been there. I've made 20,000 a year. I've made, 25, 30,000 a year. But normally that puts you right there behind the pace of inflation. And man, I'm telling you, boy. And sometimes you can make six figures and you can live too extravagantly and still not be able to outpace inflation. But if you do it right, if you make six figures a month, six figures a year, I promise you, unless you're on some kind of crack cocaine or heroin or something, you should be able to outpace inflation. And that's our will for you here, that you outpace inflation and start living the good life. Guys, I'm going to turn the call over. Got a great speaker today. I'm going to bring on our international coach. Hey, this is my friend, my mentor. I'm so glad I met him many years ago. He's been instrumental in me making millions of dollars. Now, I'm glad to have a line here. He's our international global trainer of Uplift, as well as Crown 4 and Shop Fremont. Dr. Breakthrough, it's breakthrough time.
Shark. Thank you, Coach 100K. Pastor Kenny Smith, man, appreciate you and your heart and your dedication and commitment to empowering over 100,000 families to create a six-figure income. And as you mentioned, we do have a very special guest, Dr. Ed Lewellen, and you want to tweet everybody, get them on the call. So I'm going to go through our breakthrough daily attitude adjuster. And as soon as I'm done with that, I'll introduce him. So that'll give you just a moment to get some more folks on this line, because I'm telling you, there's going to be some powerful information given that you don't want the people to miss. Matter of fact, if you know somebody that needs a breakthrough and you don't let them know about this call, they're probably going to be mad when they find out about it when I post it on Facebook or YouTube or something else, the replay. So get real quick, get a text to them. Okay, here we go. Wow, what a great day to be alive. I feel dynamite. I like me. I accept me. I love me. I'm going to have a super fantastic day today because I am too blessed to be depressed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm too glad to be sad. I'm too anointed to be disappointed. I'm too elated to be agitated. I'm too grounded to be confounded, too grateful to be hateful, too gifted to be restricted, too legit to quit, and too saved not to be getting paid. Circumstances are aligning themselves in my favor. I am healthy, physically fit, and intellectually equipped. I have wisdom far beyond my years. I'm an extraordinary person with incredible abilities, which I would use to add value to others' lives, knowing that as I help others reach their dreams, I will automatically reach my own. I anticipate meeting the person or group of people today who are willing to use their power, wealth, and influence to empower me to achieve my dreams. All day long, people will go out of their way to bless me. Today, I will add great value to someone's life. I will show compassion to those in need. I will give strength to the weak and inspiration to the weary. Someone needs what I have to offer, and I gladly make myself available. I embrace abundance, and it embraces me. I'm abundant in every good way. I am an abundance magnet. I like money, and it likes me. And it is attracted to me because it comes abundantly from many sources. I circulate God's money wisely because it's a tool to empower those in need. It's also a way of keeping score of how many people's lives I added value to. I may have been broke, busted, and disgusted, but now I declare that I am rich, growing, and overflowing. My business is booming and checks are zooming. I'm happy on purpose. I am experiencing great victories, supernatural turnarounds, and miraculous breakthroughs in the midst of great impossibilities. I am an overcomer. And if my mountain can't be removed, I'll develop and practice my mountain climbing skills. I may experience a setback, but setbacks are only setups for comebacks. As a matter of fact, setbacks pave the way for comebacks. I'll make lemonade out of life's lemons. And if life dares to knock me down, I'll fall on my back, realizing that as long as I can look up, By the grace of God, I can get up. I commit to paying for my dreams with preparation and perspiration so that I won't have to live with my nightmares of regret. I do not procrastinate because procrastination leads to devastation. It is the assassination of my destination. Thus, I will act now. I'm a doer. I get results that last. I now release the champion that is inside of me. I am the leader that multitudes of people are living for. So I choose to succeed today and every day hereafter. Watch out, world. Here I come. Or I guess I should say, watch out, world. Here we come. So let's all take a deep breath, symbolizing that we receive that we're breathing this in. All righty, and let it out. All righty. Well, my friend, listen, you are in for a special treat today. We've got a very special guest, Dr. Edward Lewellen. I'm going to be keynoting an event here in Dallas with our good friend Adele Foster. And I looked on the website, ready for my reset, and I saw the master ceremony, Dr. Edward Lewellen. And I was so intrigued. I mean, because this gentleman's an entrepreneur. He's a COO. He's a VP of sales, a pastor, a master executive coach, and he's been called the true life changer. I called Adele. I said, Adele, who is this man? Give me his number. I got to talk to this brother because as Dr. Breakthrough, I always want to go from breakthrough to breakthrough to breakthrough, and I'd love to meet someone like this. As a matter of fact, Dr. Lewellen has over 3 decades being a published author of 3 life-changing books, thousands of articles, and by the way, he's spoken to hundreds of thousands of people on transformational topics. Now, Dr. Ed's work has touched executives in Fortune 100 and Fortune 50 companies, along with the elite athletes, some of Barron's 100 financial advisors, clients worth hundreds of millions of dollars, along with those that aspire to be among the ranks of those just listed. So he has a unique capability to transform minds and perceptions. With this capability is applied to leadership and sales, you get individuals with high levels of confidence and the ambition to move mountains. Dr. Lewellen helps those who are looking to reach new levels of success in life and in business. He's been interviewed, by the way, on radio and TV shows, including the Women's Television Broadcast Network, Real Estate TV, Females in Finances, Coffee and Clear. And now he's on the Breakthrough Uplift Leadership Call, where we uplift ourselves, uplift each other, and together we uplift the world. And we're privileged today to hear our dear brother, the brother like no other, Dr. Edward Lewellen. Hey, my man, thank you for taking time out of your schedule, sir.
I tell you what, Stan, it is such a privilege, just listening to you ramp this up. I'm just so privileged, so excited to be on this call with you.
Well, man, I'm privileged to have you, my brother. So we just want you to do what you do best, and that is transform us.
All right. Well, I'm gonna continue the same thing you were going right along, which is a mindset. And so, folks out there, as you listen in, I want you to understand one really important thing, and that is we have more control over our mind, over our thoughts, over our beliefs than most people have been taught. And so I want to teach you a couple of really important things. One is about the number 90 seconds. The second is how our mind and quantum physics line up. So let's get into the first one. So 90 seconds, really important number. And here's where that number comes from. There are a couple of neuroscientists. One is at San Diego University, Dr. Ramachandran. And one of the discoveries that he made over the last 10 years in working with people is that we used to believe that when we met a person or interacted with a person, that we created the neural pathway, the thought pattern, and then we created the emotion. Well, with the advent of new technology, what he found out was that we actually create the emotion first in our body, and then it takes place, it creates a neural pathway in the mind. Now, the number 90 seconds comes from another neuroscientist at MIT, and she was actually having a stroke. And while she was recovering, one of the most important things that they discovered was that the number 90 seconds, and that's attached to what Dr. Ramachandran had learned, and that is we only have up to 90 seconds to do something with an emotion before it becomes a neural pathway or a thought pattern. And so with those two important discoveries, here's what we can now do, and that is learn that we can control it. So let's say that, for instance, you're driving down the road, you get cut off in traffic, and what's your first reaction? Well, a lot of times it's you might want to give them the signal that they're number one, right? A lot of times people do that. It could be that the anger flares up. You go throughout the rest of your day, and the rest of your day is just terrible because you got cut off by this person, and you just can't let it go. And so what you now know is that you have, if within that 90 seconds, you take and you do something different with it. Instead of letting it create anger, what if you were to select choices? For instance, you could be really angry, and you could sustain that anger throughout the day. Or you could say to yourself, you know what, this just isn't worth it, and just let it go. But more importantly, and especially, if you're a follower of Christ, you could do this. You could choose to think, that person is in a big hurry. I want to help them out. So I'm going to back off so they can get in there and get on their way. And by doing that, what you've successfully done is, instead of creating a neural pathway, a thought pattern that's negative, it's draining of your energy, it's negative, it has a negative impact on your day. Instead of that, imagine then having it make a positive attitude. Look, I was on my way to work. This person needed to get in because they were in a hurry. I helped them on their way. I waved goodbye and wished them well. Notice the difference you feel when you think about that in two different ways. It's amazing that we really have that power to control our thoughts so easily and so quickly. The second thing that I really wanted to emphasize today was about quantum physics and the way God created our minds. And again, this has to do with our ability to control our thinking and our beliefs. So the most proven mathematical formula in quantum physics was written by a gentleman by the name of Richard Feynman back in the 1980s. And it says this. It says, where you are today has nothing to do with where you're going tomorrow. Your past has nothing to do with where you're going tomorrow. Now, most of us, and I've worked with, thousands of people, almost to the person, they believe that their past has caused them to get where they are today. And that's very, very common belief. And yet, quantum physics says that's not true. Quantum physics says where you are today perfectly positions you for where you intend to go tomorrow. In other words, what's your plan? What's your strategy? What do you want to get accomplished tomorrow? For instance, Dr. Stan, and I love his phrase, break to instead of break through. Where are you breaking to? If you have decided you're breaking to this point, well, then you're perfectly positioned today to get there. Something will happen. All the things are aligned so that where you want to break to will happen. Of course, you have to take action on those. So what this does, it takes us out of a victim mindset. We can no longer say, oh, well, here's my story. Here's why I'm here today in this situation. Again, like Dr. Stan says, are you making $20,000 a year? Are you making $50,000 a year, you're making $2 million a year. Well, it's all because of where you were intending to go. And sometimes our intention, friends, is at an unconscious level instead of a conscious level. We may consciously think, well, I want to make $2 million a year. But at the unconscious level, we are self-deprecating. We tell ourselves, what would you ever do with $2 million? A lot of negative belief systems going on in that at the unconscious level, which then inhibits us because now we're not perfectly positioned to do what we're consciously thinking. We're perfectly positioned to do what we're unconsciously thinking. So what's so cool about this is, number one, it takes you out of the victim mentality. So it really causes you to do a real search inside. What are your real beliefs? And then you have the ability to change and transform those things. And then number two, it tells you that you now have full power. You have clarity, you have focus, you have power, you have certainty, so that you can take control of your life. Now, here's the other interesting thing, as I mentioned at the onset, that there's a close connection here with God and how he created us. So remember, quantum physics says where we are today perfectly positions us for where we want to go tomorrow. Well, in the human mind, we have this piece that's called the thalamus. And if you were to take your finger, put it on your forehead, that's the prefrontal cortex. As you strategize, as you think, as you create thoughts, there could be hundreds of thousands of thoughts going on. And all of those thoughts are filtered through the thalamus before they come to your conscious level. And neuroscientists call that winner takes all. And guess what? Guess which thought that is that makes it through the thalamus, the one and only out of thousands or possibly hundreds of thousands of thoughts. It's the one you're intending. So, science, the way God created us, all line up so that we can create what we intend to do. So what's your intention? What are you breaking through? What are you breaking to? What is it that you really want out of life? These are the things that, as you think about them, not only as a conscious level, but at an unconscious level, you have to fully consider, because where your life is now, where it's going to be tomorrow, it's all predicated on your intention. Now, I know Dr. Stan, myself, we're both experts in helping people to break through and create the life they want, to find that intention that they really want to have, not the superfluous intention. A lot of people, they say they do want to make $2 million a year, or 10 million, or 100 million, whatever that number is. It really doesn't matter. What matters is not the number, but what is it? What's the purpose? What's the intention? What is that money going to do? That's the higher level that you can take your life to, by thinking about, if I have $10 million, how will that make my life different? How will I be able to, and then you would have your own list of things that you want to accomplish at a higher level. A lot of people I know on this call are Christ-driven, and so it would probably be, maybe mission trips. It might be traveling and meeting with religious leaders of different faiths. It might be helping children, whether it be here in the United States, someplace else in the world. But that intention is so much more important than a number. The number will always follow. So if your intention is to create a better world, different from the one that you grew up in, then map that out. What does that look like? Fully set your intention so that your thalamus can follow it, so that quantum physics, the mathematical formulas can follow it. And of course, when you have that opportunity where you have that up to 90-second time frame to do something with a thought, you see, when you have the right intention already set, for instance, going back to our person who cuts us off in traffic, if your intention is to be a kind, generous, helpful, empathetic person, then guess what will happen each and every time that something like that happens? And friends, I know this through my own experience, through experience of my clients, is that it creates such a peaceful, satisfying, happy life, because that stress and tension that so many people in this world experience can be gone. It can dissipate. In fact, after a while, it doesn't even rise up because you've changed at the unconscious level. And so that's who you have become, is this person that when someone cuts you off, when someone does something to you that, is maybe unkind, instead of looking at it in such a way that you want to retaliate or you get stressed, you take on more of that Christ-like attitude and are able to deal with it in such a more peaceful manner and in full control of your mind. And once again, I want to emphasize that is that you can and do have more control over your mind than what you think. All those negative stories from the past, all the negative stuff that people get stuck in and drag along with them in life can really be let go. You can be transformed, you can be changed, and you can actually reorganize your neural pathways so that you are in control of your mind. So, Dr. Stan, let me turn the show back over to you.
Wow. Man, I tell you, that is so powerful. Romans 12:2 tells us, don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. What you're saying is we have the opportunity of renewing our minds, of, like you said, resetting bright thought patterns that get us the results that we want. But I think people are playing victim to their own thoughts. I'm actually writing a book now, Dr. Ed, that goes along with just what you said, and that is mental self-defense, learning how to defend yourself against your greatest opponent, which is your undisciplined or subconscious mind. And you are just so on it and so right. As a matter of fact, I'm reading a powerful book now, Dr. Chipman. It's called Think Right, Live Right. And so being that you served as a senior pastor for many, many years, and what you're doing now as a coach and training salespeople and all that. So would you say that the whole thing about this thought process and people taking charge, would you say that's what gives the edge over the winners and super achievers over everyone else?
Yes. When you study people that are extremely successful, they have disciplined themselves so that they don't let their past dictate their future. In fact, it was gentleman that that invented the light bulb. I read a quote about somebody has at the library that he's featured at. They said that when he would spend a lot of money in research development and it didn't work,
mm-hmm.
he would they said he wouldn't continue to dwell on it. He wouldn't sit there and sob over it. He'd sit there and go, well, I guess we spent that money and now it's gone. Let's move on to the next project.
Wow.
And that's all got to do with, of course, are we letting ourselves dwell on this stuff in the past?
Right.
As you well know, we let that go. 5 minutes ago doesn't matter, an hour ago doesn't matter, 2 days ago doesn't matter, because you can't change what happened.
So is that what part of what Paul meant when he said, forgetting those things which are behind, I press forward?
I love that one. Yeah, I love that scripture. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So folks, if you're on the line,
ahead.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So folks, if you're on the line, I think that's part of the reason why God spoke to my heart to have Doc on this line. See, you keep thinking it's all these other things. You don't understand that the real factor, see, there's contributing factors and there's only one determining factors. And you might be like I was mixing up, and I was giving, get this now, I was giving determining factor power to things that were nothing more than contributing factors. And that's why, as Doc was saying, things like in the traffic and all that. And by the way, my beautiful wife, Nadia, y'all know I call her my ABCD, adorable brown caramel delight. But one of her favorite lines to me is, baby, just breathe. Baby, just breathe.
That's right. Yeah.
And then the other one is keep a kingdom. I'm like, there we go. Keep a kingdom, baby. Keep a kingdom. Right.
Yeah.
But seriously though, that's like a reset for me. That's like a little a gentle reminder. And it's like, wow, So, but again, maybe folks, if you're on this line, maybe you're like I was. Again, you're giving determining factor power to something that's nothing more than a contributing factor, and you're allowing people and feelings. And I mean, matter of fact, I was listening to a guy the other day, and he said it was a powerful talk. Reverend Ike, as a matter of fact, a little thing popped up on YouTube, and it said, "Tell your feelings how to feel." I was like, "Ooh, I like that title. Tell your feelings how to feel." But Doc, what you're talking about encapsulates that, and it seems simple, but people are missing it, and that's why they're not getting the success that they desire, that they deserve, and that God wants them to have. So if you're on this line, or if you hear the recording, I want you to take this to heart, my friend. This, like the Bible says, little foxes will spoil the vine. Well, this is the little tweak, my friend, that could change your life if you're willing to practice it. So, wow. Well, Doc, I'm going to bring out Coach 100K in just a minute, but any closing thoughts or tips for the folks today? I think you're making someone's day. I'm definitely gleaning from these tidbits, this powerful information you're giving.
Wonderful. Yeah. The main thing would be just for them to remind themselves, I do have control. I do have the ability to choose how I think and feel.
Wow. And folks, I'm telling you, this is powerful. So, hey, Coach 100K, let's bring you out just for a moment, and then we'll unmute people after a while to show some appreciation. But man, this is great stuff here.
Oh yeah,
I can't wait for that
sharp. Me either. Thank you, Dr. Edward. We appreciate you, man. Great value. And I look at what you talked about is really eye-opening and reminding of the people that do succeed tend to manage their emotions. And one thing that I get accredited with a lot from people that follow me and watch me, they say, man, there's nothing shake you hardly, man. But what happens is I just choose my battles well. And I choose what's important and what's not important. And the things not important, I let it roll off my back. Somebody had a bad day. Somebody had, when they wanted to express themselves, it was their feeling. They got the right to express themselves. I don't have to get all upset behind what they said. Hey, if it's not true, don't worry about it. If it is true, work on it. But I love what you said. You talked about, man, managing the emotions, and you said that if it's not handled in 90 seconds, it becomes a what? What was that?
I'm sorry?
You said if the emotion is not handled in 90 seconds, that something happens.
Right. Yeah, it actually forms a neural pathway in the brain, so that now it becomes a permanent thought pattern.
Wow.
So,
90 seconds.
Yeah.
So,
Doc, that 90 seconds is so important for us to, and again, I just want to emphasize, we just make a choice. And as brothers, we, just imagine what it's like to take a situation that is negative, could be disempowering, drive up anger, and instead change that to where we're feeling love for a person, empathy for a person, and feeling good about how we feel in our bodies.
Wow. You know what, Doc? You remind me of something that was said once before. Right on what you're saying. Someone once said that errors are made within the first few moments of a crisis. Errors are made within the first few moments of a crisis. And many criminals, many people who made bad decisions in those 90 seconds, just wish they could have just taken 90 seconds, rewind the clock and say, man, if I just handled it a little different, I just breathe in, like Dr. Breakthrough said, if I just breathe in and if I'd had another I would have responded differently. And now I'm going to have to spend the rest of my life in prison. But, man, this is really powerful stuff, Doc. I don't know if people understand that. You blessed my life so much.
Wonderful.
Well, let's just a second, Liddy. I see Lady Love out there, and she, matter of fact, there's a possibility she might be speaking at the same conference. It's going to be right here in Dallas, readyformyreset.com. So readyformyreset.com. Folks, I'm telling you, it's going to be incredible. But Liddy, if you're available, let me see if you can just say just 1 minute and just address Dr. Ed Lewellen. I'm sure you appreciate what he just said. Lady Love, we call her Dr. Ignite, Liddy Flom.
Good morning. Oh, my goodness. What an amazing morning. Texting out to some friends, and I said, just dial in. And I love the one word that you just spoke about, which is what Wayne Dyer just spoke about in a book he wrote about the power of intention. And how it is that, we live in this world where we do co-create, but we can say we co-create every thought, we co-create love, and the love is the one universal word. It's the universal everything being, and it's unity. And if we would just put the power of intention of love in the middle of every decision, then it's unity. And that's our come from, that's our go-to, and it seems like that's the connection. So I'm appreciating the power of intention. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.